Right back at y'all with another sports update. Adrian, Reid, fellas, was good.
What's going on?
Another episode. So yes, go ahead, dive right into it. So big contract signing in the MLB this weekend. Shohei Otani, 10 years, $700 million. So Reid, is Shohei worth this money? And what do you see the Dodgers doing this season?
And he definitely. Baseball contracts only get bigger every year, as we know. I think that he was worth. He's only going to be a hitter from here on out. He's 29. He has another. I think it's his second Tommy John surgery. I don't see a future where pitching. I know everybody keeps talking about, oh well, when he comes back, they're going to have 4 potential all-stars pitching and their starting lineup. I don't see him pitching again. If he does, it's going to be in a very limited time, or he'll be on like a pitch count or inning limit. So, I know he would get paid as a hitter. He still hits really well. You kind of saw the rumors of contracts float on before he got hurt at the end of the season. So, like I said, baseball contracts are only going up. He's the hottest name in baseball, 1 MVP. So it's like, I expect him to get paid. The Dodgers, a lot of his money is the vanilla treatment. So he's going to be getting it, basically once he's done with his whole 10-year contract. So he'll be getting paid until like 2042 or something like that, something crazy like that.
Yeah,
I think it helps the Dodgers.
Money.
Yeah, so I think that's a smart move. Don't have to pay the taxes in California, crazy amount, and move back to Japan. Be happy with all the money you got. So, I think it's a huge move. Obviously, the Dodgers are like the Yankees, Soto, and they can just spend all the money they want. I think it's unfair in baseball that's the thing, but that's kind of how it works. These big market teams are allowed to spend. Tigers have the ability to spend, but yeah, it's crazy. I think the Tigers total payroll is $84 million, which is nuts to me. So, it's a good move for the Dodgers. I think that the Dodgers are going to go pretty far. They're just another playoff team, and they probably need a little more help pitching because Shohei's not playing. But I could see them going to another World Series in the next 2-3 years.
Kudos to him. Shout out to him. $700 million. I know he's going to defer $2 million a year to help them update the staff. But I think they're throwing you the money, take it, man. It's baseball. We know how baseball's contracts are. These 10-year contracts, these 8-year contracts are crazy. That's the only thing I don't like, because most of these players don't fulfill these crazy 8 to 10 year. Tatis signed, I believe, a 10 years, like $232 million contract, and he's already been hurt a couple years out of that. Look at Stanton's contract for the Yankees. He's been hurt every year. Judge just started his contract, so he's been productive thus far, but that would make him like 39 by the time he's done. But the best dual athlete in baseball, can pitch and throw. But I know he's probably come off that Tommy John surgery, so we'll see. But Dodgers have so much money, it doesn't even matter at this point. They can throw money in the water at this point and make something work. They'll always be able to attract big free agents.
Tatis also got suspended too recently, didn't he? He got suspended part of the season for So like you're saying, they pay these guys and then you go and pull something like that. And so
it seemed like a lot of these guys get the long-term contracts, and then towards the end of the contract, people are tired of them, ready for them to get ran out of town. So we'll see. But Otani, he's pretty much the best player in baseball right now. He deserves it. I don't think he had to move either. I'm pretty sure he still has the same place. And no salary cap in baseball. So hey, kudos to him.
Wait, Raj, you say that players get these big contracts, and then at the end of them, people want to leave. You wouldn't happen to have an experience, would you? Like you don't know a player like that, do you? You have another one now. Now we have another straggler.
Yeah,
can't hit a ball to save life.
Yeah. Shout out Faiz in the building. Faiz said he's tapped in. Appreciate you, Faiz.
Appreciate you, my man.
All right, so let's switch over to college basketball. The Michigan State Spartans, currently the worst record in the Big Ten, 4-5, 0-2 in the Big Ten. Complete disappointment right now. So Adrian, why has these Michigan State Spartans been this disappointing?
I mean, just look at it because you're running a one-man show right now. Tyson Walker is doing everything he can for this Michigan State program right now. I mean, coming into the year, you had the lineup of Hogart, Walker, and Akins. Akins and Hogart have been a no-show in this year. I mean, Walker, an undersized, a 6-foot point guard. He can't do everything on his own, especially in this college basketball landscape. Xavier Booker, the big 5-star, they got him. McDonald's All-American. I don't think he's ready yet, and we know how stubborn Izzo is, and he just doesn't play some of these young freshman guys. I just think they're not gelling right now. The confidence is low. You know how these Izzo teams are. I think they possibly may have a chance to turn around, but if they don't, they'll be lost real quick because the Big Ten is not this good in basketball this year. Michigan's down, Ohio State's down, Indiana just got blown out by Auburn. Over this past weekend, they were supposed to be one of the best teams in the Big Ten right now. So it looks like Purdue's going to run away with this conference right now at this point right now. So it's not looking good. I'm going to give them a little time though, but all in essence, just 4 and 5 start is not good. They haven't beat any good team of any relevance, and then it doesn't get any easier. They they play Baylor, who's undefeated 9-0 this weekend at Little Caesars. So I was thinking about going to that game, guys, but we'll see.
Is this a tournament team?
At the moment, no, it's not because they don't have the size, the center. We've talked about it all year, and it's been talked about in the preseason. Matty Sissoko was starting at center for Michigan State, and he hasn't given them anything. I mean, nothing. He's out there. He can't really shoot. He barely rebounds. He hustles. He's kind of like Beef Stew, but he just gives you no offense. So I mean, that's a big problem for Tom Izzo. We knew that coming in. We knew that coming into the season that this was going to be a huge problem for them, and it showed. And he's just trying to bring these guys along, but he better hurry up and pick it up before it gets way worse.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, hand up, I haven't watched many of the games because generally if they're on, I'm watching something else at the time. I heard this whole season from my my buddy who goes to Michigan State and my other friend who's a big Michigan State basketball guy. How the team's going to be so great this year. Obviously, like Adrian said, a lot of young guys on the team. They're running it through one player. No bigs. So, I mean, college basketball, having a big is like it changes your whole game. I mean, you look at Edey, you look at Dickinson, you look at Mears Pass with Timmy and a lot of those other guys that were big body guys really help you because college, I mean, there's a lot of smaller players, especially now when it's becoming a lot more small ball. But yeah, he just has a lot of freshmen on the team right now that he can't really trust into. I mean, I never count Tom Izzo out of the tournament. Again, like Adrian said, it's a weak Big Ten, so still a lot of games left to play in the season. Hopefully, they can turn it around because I do believe that Michigan State is better with not Michigan State, but the tournament's better when Tom Izzo's in it. Obviously, people always love seeing that. So I end up, getting it turned around and figure it out. But yeah, right now they don't look good at all, and I mean Purdue is just nonstop with Zach Edey. So Big Ten is, like Adrian said, pretty much wide open. It's not very good this year, so I could see them sneaking in.
To give you guys a reference real quick before we get off them, Tyson Walker is averaging 20.3 points per game, right? The next closest guy is 10.3, and that's A.J. Hogart, and Malik Hall at 10.3. Akins is averaging 9.7. So I don't know what Izzo's going to do. He's trying to bring Carson Cooper, the sophomore from Jackson, along, and Xavier Booker, this freshman, along. But he's going to have to he's going to just have to throw them into the fire at some point in time. At what point in time do these coaches realize that your stubbornness does not get you far? You had success, but you have one national title since 2000. So you need to figure it out. What more can you lose? Throw them in the fire, like I said, in a weaker Big Ten. Maybe they can figure it out. Change some lineups. Maybe go to the 3-guard lineup. Take Malik Hall out and put them two in together. Figure something out because this rigidity thing that he likes to do and running no offense and just being so slow and methodical, it just does not work in today's game. The only coach I've seen do it successfully over these last 10, 15 years is Tony Bennett, the coach of Virginia. They got a national title out of it. But other than that, I just don't see it, and nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see if the Spartans can get it turned around this weekend down at the LCA against Baylor. That big game right there. Big game right there.
I'm going to check tickets, fellas. I'm just curious because maybe if they're they're cheap enough. We should think about definitely getting down there. Let's see.
I'm down. I'm down. Shout out DC says I love this show, fellas. Always come in with great info. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, DC.
Appreciate you, DC.
All right, so yeah,
scored 2 wings in like 1 minute. So now it's 3-2 St. Louis. Red Wings aren't looking good. Their goaltending's looking horrible, man.
Larkin's still out, right?
Yeah, Larkin and Perron got a 6-game suspension.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
He got a 6-game suspension.
Yeah, for cross check to the head, and he got like $140,000 fine.
Whoo.
Yeah. Or no, that's the amount of money he's going to lose. I'm sorry, the amount of money he's going to lose. His 6-game suspension.
$26. Not bad.
$26.
Yeah, that's the lowest ticket. Is $26.
Yeah. The only thing about the LCA though, the higher you sit, the worse it is. Like you're not gonna be watching the game. You're just gonna be watching that screen.
It like dives.
Basketball's not too bad.
Yeah, it dives though. So like when you're sitting down, it feels like you're gonna fall off like the edge of off the edge of the seat. So it's kind of weird, but it's still overall. I think it's still a good view. But
yeah. Shout out Ack in the building. Says natural born citizen of the Niner Nation in the building. Ack feeling good about his Niners right now. We're gonna get to the NFL for sure. But yeah, let's keep sticking with this basketball. So we did see LeBron and the Lakers win the in-season tournament. So Reid, what does this mean for LeBron's legacy that he won this in-season tournament? Is this an addition to his resume, or does it not really matter?
I mean, it's one more championship that Jordan doesn't have. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, I think it's cool. It's just something that they added, whether it adds to his legacy or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's anything too serious. We'll see how far it goes. People seem to have liked it. I didn't really understand it because I didn't really know what was happening when games were happening. I just read a stat that said the in-season championship was the most watched regular season game in 6 years. Granted, it was the only game on at that time. So, I mean, that's understandable. But, I mean, maybe a Christmas Day game you would think would be more watched. But, I mean, I think it's good. It did seem like teams tried a little bit harder because points mattered more. So teams were trying to score a lot of points. So the Pacers score a bunch. As far as his legacy goes, I don't think this really affects him. It's not going to put him over the edge. And I mean, he has a lot more accolades that are a lot more impressive. I think this was more or less just I think it shows more of his character that some of the stuff he was saying about how he's going to win it for these two-way guys, the younger rookies, like they all, much since they're living in LA, they can't really afford a lot. How much of that they'll see, that $500K they'll see, I don't know because of all the taxes and stuff. But it was very cool that they won it, that the Lakers won it. I think it's definitely something that they needed because a lot of people I think were down the Lakers as of late.
I'll say it was a good thing for the NBA, especially where it's been heading towards the last few years with this load management. And I could tell guys started to play a little bit with a little more sense of urgency in some of these games. And I like that they did have it as a standalone game Saturday night. I would like to see a couple changes though, as far as how the format is set up. So maybe have this condensed more to where you can get it done in a week or two instead of spreading it out. We got 1 game, 2 games a week, and it's on Tuesday, Friday, and you got to make it a little easier for the non-sickos like us to understand. So, but as far as LeBron's legacy, I just think it adds something to his resume, something we haven't seen before. I will give him his credit. It just shows the man is playing at a phenomenal level at the age of 38 years old. It just seems like he's still 20 out there at times, and he just knows when to pick his spots and still dominate some of these guys. So I will give him credit for that. And it's early. He even said it's December. So I think it's just something he wanted to get like reset for the young guys, get them some extra money in their pocket. But I don't think it adds to, I don't think it's going to hurt. It was going to make or break his legacy regardless. My thing was it just shows the longevity that he's been able to play basketball at this high of a level, which is incredible, which we'll never probably see again. And then, it's crazy to me, man. But that's a good thing about LeBron. But after the taxes and Raaj, after the taxes, the Lakers will get $231,000 after taxes.
That's nuts. That's criminal, in my opinion. That's criminal.
So if the the losing team got 200,000 after taxes. That probably went down to probably like 5 figures then.
Probably. I mean, it's Indiana, so I don't think it's as high as
it's Indiana taxes.
State tax.
Yeah, so state taxes. Yeah, California is just ridiculous with it. I mean, it's all criminal, especially California. But I think to what Adrian said, to where they need to change it a little bit. NBA is a big enough organization to where it's like you have to figure out a way to whatever team wins, because those young guys are getting it, and maybe they're two-way players or rookies. So figure out how it's tax free, or have the team pay the taxes on it, so they don't have to pay that, and they only a small amount or half of what they're supposed to get, or a little less than half. I think that's just not right for those younger guys to. I mean, even if you play those younger guys who did, contribute or who are looking forward to that because maybe they can't get off that two-way contract. I think the NBA or the franchise that needs to do something about that.
Right. So what about the Canadian teams like the Raptors? Do they pay taxes, or how exactly does that work?
Yeah, they have Canada's taxes are worse. There's like they're like a way higher tax break. They're like 50% or something. It's something crazy like that.
You also realize they put the oh gosh, help me here. The denomination's different, as the US dollar is higher than the Canadian dollar, I think, at the moment. So they're ultimately getting less when if they convert it back. I don't know if they have to do that, but I'm sure those guys probably have American bank accounts, but maybe a Canadian citizen that was on a two-way contract or something.
So do they get paid Canadian money, or is it like, how does that even work?
I think they're taxed Canadian. I think it comes out of a US account, but they're taxed Canadian. If I'm not mistaken.
This is something
you'd have to look it up.
The whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure Adrian could be there.
I'm gonna have to do some research on this. But I was always curious about how that works. So
yeah, okay. A little banking, little account information right here on the Sports Update. You guys, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, we gotta give the people some variety.
Absolutely. All right, so sticking with the basketball, we don't got to stay on this long. The pathetic Pistons, 20-game losing streak. Dating back to last season, the Pistons are 44 losses out of 48 games dating back to last season. 20-game losing streak right now. The bottom's falling completely out. We're not hearing nothing from Gores. We're not hearing nothing from Troy Weaver. No ownership. So, I mean, Reid, what do you do with the Pistons right now? What do you even do at this point?
The fact that you gave the stat that they've lost 44 out of 48. We've only heard from Tom Gores and Troy Weaver when it came to the offseason after the draft. Nothing was addressed. Obviously, they didn't know that they were going to lose 19 or whatever in a row now. But at this point, they need to come out and say something, give the fans something, because there's still people buying tickets to these games. There's still people that want to see this team. There's still people that care. There's people like myself who have their favorite player on the team, and Cade Cunningham in the league right now. I do believe that he can be a great player, but it just seems like, I don't know, they can't get anything done. The players are completely competent. It looks like our team of full two-way contract guys. It's unbelievable. You don't hear anything from Monty. You don't hear anything from ownership. You don't hear anything from GM. At this point, I mean, if they get to, which it's looking like, I don't even know if they'll win a game this season, but if they get to 25, 30 games in a row that they've lost, like, Adam Silver just has to step in and be like, all right, Gores, you just don't own this team anymore. Like, at this point, Gores should have to sell this team for a 50% discount with how much he's not even involved. Like, he should have to sell this team for what he bought it for. Like, this guy deserves nothing because he has done nothing. You haven't brought us anything great in what? I mean, he's bought the team. So that's been 6 years. Right? So
2011 he bought him.
Okay, so a little bit longer than that, 12 years. So, yeah, I don't know. It's someone needs to come out and say something. And the fact that they've hidden in their ivory towers and haven't come out to really give their fans what they truly need is alarming and upsetting as a Pistons fan.
Look, man, we talk about this every night. The Pistons come on. I haven't physically watched the last 2 games on my own TV because I can't do it. So I've been checking it because I can't subdue myself to take this much anger and frustration out on this team because it's crazy. What are we 20? What are we 22 games into the season and every night, Monty finds a way to do something just stupid and idiotic for this team and me, where we're shaking our head, whether it's the lineup change, or it's not playing Ivy enough, or it's playing beef stew too much. It's something every night. I know Jalen Duren's out right now, which makes it we all hate ourselves right now because now that means we have to watch more of beef stew playing the 5, which he's awful at. Then check this out. Even last night. I think Ivy played 34 or 35 minutes last night. Why not start the guy? When you started him, he was efficient and ineffective. And here's a quote, guys. Monty Williams said, he said, I think we're starting to figure out that we can score if we space the floor properly. I'm learning how to use certain guys on the team. Monty, how about this? You have one guy on the court besides Cade who can properly space the floor properly. You didn't think about that when you drafted Asor Thompson, did you? No, you didn't think about that when you didn't trade Bogdan for some capital and for some leverage. You didn't think about that when you signed Marvin Bagley. You didn't think about that when you got James Wiseman. You didn't think about that starting Killian Hayes. You know what? I could just keep going on and going on, guys. But the fact that this has reached 20 games is almost at this point we're kind of watching them in spite right now. Let me pull up how many games they have left in the season because I think in the rest of the year, I think they could lose out on potentially the rest of this calendar year. And if they can do that, then I need to hear something from management. But I'm hoping, and I hate to say this, that they lose out, so there can be some accountability, and maybe we can get this entire front office, not even Gorsuch's sale right now, but even to get this whole entire front office off this team and give us some fresh blood in the new start because Lord knows we need it. Arm tell him no. He hired his son to run player personnel. What are you doing? I don't think, bro.
Troy Weaver hired his own son to do scouting.
What are you doing? Come on, man. He has no experience. What are we doing right now?
I think he's like 19 or 20 years old. I'm pretty sure. I think Troy Weaver's son is I think he's like still in college, or at college age at least. I mean, like you're saying with that starting lineup. I mean, I was all for Asar. I think Asar can be a solid player, and he showed you yesterday that he can be good. I mean, he scored 20 points. He had 6 boards. He can shoot well mid range. His 3 can heavily use. Cade is obviously doing what he's doing. But yeah, Monty, you say that once you figure out that you can get spacing, you can shoot the ball. That's what you needed to do all season was get spacing for Cade. That's all you needed, and you don't have any guys that can do that. The only guy that you have can do that now is Bojan. He's showing you that he's actually coming back and playing well because he can shoot the 3. But Beef Stew is inept in the defense. He's inept in the offensive game. He can't stay underneath the basket and score a basket to save his life. I could be guarding Beef Stew in the paint and probably be able to block his shot. He's that bad. It's just atrocious watching guys. Marvin Bagley's hurt once again. He was hurt mostly all season last year. He can't do anything barely defensively. James Wiseman, I was the biggest fan of James Wiseman coming in because I thought he had potential. He stinks. Jaden Ivey, for some reason, not starting because Killian Hayes has blackmail on Monty Williams, or Monty wants him to marry his daughter. I don't know what's going on, but everybody gets a pass. But Jaden Ivey, he started like Adrian said, he had 33 minutes. He had 18 points. You drafted him for a reason, 5th overall. Benedict Mathurin got drafted after him, and he scored 30 points last night on you. So Tyrese Halliburton got drafted after Killian. He's had a double-double last night. All these guys that you could have drafted are just going off on you, and you, for some reason, don't want to start the guys that you drafted high in the draft. You drafted Jaden 5th. Why is he not starting next to Cade? Maybe I don't know. Maybe you don't like his attitude. I don't know what it is. But it at least shows you that he can hustle offensively. He can score in the paint. He can score in transition. Does his 3 need work? Sure, but he can still shoot 3. I mean, we do need Duren back. That would help. It'd be Cade, Jaden, Asar, Bogey, Duren. That should be starting 5. That's all you need. I don't know how it's that hard. It's seriously hurts my brain every time I watch this team. That's all I'm saying. I'm done.
Yeah, we got to hear something. We got to hear something from ownership at this point. Gore's got to say something. Weaver, like, come on now. You got the fans coming out supporting this, buying tickets to these games, streaming these games. You got to give the fans, you got to give us something. You got to show us that you care, because you guys clearly don't care, and it's trickling down through the whole organization. And now the whole thing is just a complete dumpster fire. Everybody's just doing anything. So, like, yeah, they need to speak up. They need to come out and say something and show the fans that they care. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, I'll say this real quick because I know we could rant and just get my blood pressure up a little bit. But this when we went from when Troy first got here, I was very hopeful. I'm like, hey, look what he did with the Oklahoma City Thunder and helping them and Sam Presti. And it just since Case got drafted, it's just been a joke. They're like, oh, we got the number 1 pick. That was easy. So now we're just gonna coast and let it go. Monty looks like he looks like he's just tapped out. Like he signed up for more than what he thought he could handle. And I think it's a lot of his fault too. I think the organization is not helping him out though by surrounding him with the right players. Because like we said, we got a bunch of Chuck E. Cheese kids running the front office right now. So there needs to be overall. Look, guys, they have 9 games left this calendar year. They go 2-30. Do you think anything happens real quick before we switch topics?
I don't think anything's going to happen. I mean, if you've gone 19, 20 games in a row already that you've lost and nothing's been done, why would 30 change it? It's like the kid in class who keep, getting in trouble and they don't say anything about it, so he just keeps doing what he's doing. Like, no, I don't think anything's going to change because I don't think they even care. Gore's going to keep using this money. Troy Weaver is not on any hot seat from Gore's because, there's nothing that he can do. So it's like, yeah, no, I don't think at 30 games, unless Adam Silver comes in and says something, I don't think anything's going to happen.
My thing is get active now. Don't wait till the trade deadline. Start shipping guys out. Start making moves now. Why wait to the deadline at this point? You got nothing to lose.
Yeah. There's all these rumors floating around. Why is your name not in the hat in this one? I'll tell you who's happy about this. Wingstop for not having to give free 5 wings for every time the Pistons win. Because guess what? That CFO is sitting up in his chair. He can buy a new Ferrari with all the money they not spend on free wings. It's ridiculous.
And that's crazy. That's crazy that we're sitting here. They go 2-30. We're sitting here talking about they have the potential to break the all-time record for the worst record in NBA history. In today's age, do you know how hard that is? Do you know how bad you got to be? But just think about that in a nutshell. And that just goes to show you that we talked about, we're rock bottom. We keep setting a new standard for rock bottom at this point in time.
Yeah, and then you might end up with the first pick in the draft this year, and there's no Winyamba, there's no unanimous guy, so it's just all bad. It's just all bad.
Unless that Alexander Sarr kid becomes Wembanyama, which I don't think that's going to happen.
No, there's another French kid named Zachary Richard too. So, but we can get into that today. I can give you some draft prospects I've been looking at, but there's nothing there that I think the Pistons need to do. And as far as getting another rookie, that's not going to help Cade whatsoever.
Yeah, I honestly trade that pick.
Yeah, if you get a top 5 pick, trade it for a vet. Trade it for a vet.
Great.
All right, let's see some of the feedback here. X is the fluorescent yellow car had it sweet, and yeah, Pistons are bad. Shout out that. Ish in the building says would be good idea if Tom Gore sold the team and moved them out of Michigan. He also said should have kept the Pistons in Auburn Hills.
I would have it's close to my house. Closer drive.
Yeah. Hey, when they played Auburn Hills, me being a Pontiac from Pontiac, I get to Palace in 10 minutes. So that was good. And the parking at the Palace is so much better. Going downtown trying to figure out a parking spot is so frustrating.
It is a pain. Definitely is.
All right, let's see.
Not to mention how much you pay.
DC says sell the team. He said move them to Las Vegas.
I don't think they would even move the team, any of the teams. I don't think they would move the Pistons. I don't think you can do that. I think they're too much of a storied franchise. I think it could be sold, but I don't think it would ever be moved to Vegas.
Yeah, I don't see them.
I can't see Vegas getting an NBA team. I just don't see a team moving. I just think it'll be an expansion team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think they're going to do 2 expansion teams. I think they're going to add 2 expansion teams.
Vegas,
Seattle's coming back as one of them.
Vegas and Seattle.
Yeah.
Probably add 1 to each conference.
You know what they need to do? I know we can get in a tangent about this, but Memphis doesn't need to be in the Western Conference. They should be in the Eastern Conference. But that's neither here nor there. But.
Okay. Alex said he agrees with Ish. And then DC says Troy Weaver and Tom Gorse are a joke. Yes, they
That's
are.
an understatement. That is an understatement, a joke. They're
Yes,
garbage. Excellent.
Yep.
They're not even they're a landfill. You know that landfill that was behind the Palace of Auburn Hills? That's Tom Gorse and Troy Weaver. That's where they live. I'm so infuriated with this team, man.
Pathetic. Then they got a back-to-back against Philly, so it's probably going to stay
and
ugly.
Philly just put up 146 points against whoever they just played. I don't even remember, but they had 146 points against them. What do you think they could do?
Memphis, was it?
I don't remember who it was, but it was 146 points. It was unreal.
Yeah, this is crazy. All right, so that's enough for the pathetic Pistons. Let's switch over to college football. So a story came out with Marvin Harrison Jr. saying that he's 50-50 on going to the NFL. They're saying that some of the boosters are going to try to offer him the same amount of NIL money as he would get it on the rookie contract. And he also said that he wants to stay and beat Michigan. So he's on the fence with this. So, Adrian, what do you think Marvin Harrison Jr. should do? Should he go back to college or should he go to the NFL?
Marvin Harrison Jr. should not think twice about going back to college. He needs to enter the NFL draft. It's really about that second contract, not that first contract. He goes into the league, balls hard for 3 years. He'll get a rookie extension. He'll get $25-30 million a year, not from NIL. And I think a lot of this is just these boosters and trying to geek his head up. There's no way he's going to make $20 million a year. And even if he does, we don't even know what the Ohio State roster is going to look like. We don't even know who's playing quarterback for him at this point. If they have the quarterbacks I think they're going to have and not get a transfer, I don't see them winning a national title next year. So I know they got some young receivers and stuff, but I think it's just him just talking and being emotional about, his time coming to an end in Columbus. So no, go to the NFL and be a superstar.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think even I just don't understand why Ohio State, even if it is true, like it's still all rumors, but why would you promise a kid $20-25 million in NIL money when you can spread that out across your whole team and you can get a superstar quarterback and another wide receiver and possibly recruit? What's that kid's name? I can't think of him. He's pretty committed to Ohio State. I don't know. No, the wide receiver. He's going to be a freshman next year. He already committed to Ohio State. I'm pretty sure.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, didn't he commit to Ohio State?
Yeah, he's committed right now. They're trying to flip him though.
Then there's a rumor because he was wearing Florida State gloves. He might come to Florida State, which would be sick. But yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't just why you wouldn't just go to the NFL. Sure, your rookie contract, it stinks. You have way more in the NFL as a player. You don't have to worry about all this other stuff like you do in college. You're basically your own entity anyway. You can not just make your rookie contract, but how many people do you think are going to come at him for sponsorships and all this stuff that he can make for marketing outside? I mean, look at like Justin Jefferson, what he does. He got millions of, you see him in every other commercial, or you see guys like Patrick Mahomes in the State Farm commercials. Like, companies throw money at you like you wouldn't even imagine that would be worth more than your NIL money. If you want to beat Michigan and win a Big Ten championship, and that's like your biggest thing that you want to do, sure, I guess do it. I think it's dumb. You're going to be a top 5 pick regardless, top 3 pick actually regardless. So yeah, I wouldn't stay. I mean, I guess beating your college team still stretches into the pros because a lot of guys do the bets and stuff, but go to the NFL, dude. Go make more money than you could even imagine in the NFL than you would at NIL college.
Yeah, agreed. He needs to go to the NFL. And then football is such a violent sport. You don't know. Any day you could blow a knee out. Anything could go wrong. He has a significant injury. He's obviously a top 2, top 3 pick in the upcoming draft. He gets some type of injury, 2nd, 3rd round. Like, look at Jordan Travis. I think Jordan Travis would have been probably a 2nd rounder. He's probably not going to go to about the 5th now. So yeah, he needs to leave, go get his money. I know it's frustrating. He hasn't beat Michigan, but he should leave. He should go to the NFL. Even CJ Stroud never beat Michigan either. I know that was frustrating for him, but he left his junior year. So yeah, you got opportunity.
And he's going to get paid if he keeps playing the way that he plays too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a chance to be a top 3, top 5 pick in the NFL, NBA, NHL, any draft. Go, just go professional. All right, let's see. We got Ish in the building. Playing at one college for 3 or 4 seasons is becoming a thing of the past.
Well, great.
It's like the one and dones with like college basketball. I mean, I still think kids should. I don't know why they don't do it. I mean, I guess I do for maturity. I don't know why they don't let kids come out of high school anymore for basketball.
It'll change. It'll change at some point. They'll get back to it.
I mean, I don't think every kid should be able to come out of high school, but if you're like a super talent, like I'm trying to think of some of these kids that are like, who's that kid on USC that. Not Bronny, but the other kid that's like their number one player. He was the number one recruit.
Oh, Isaiah Collier.
Yeah, like him. Or like Shaden Sharp was a guy who could have entered the draft probably coming out of high school because he missed his year at Kentucky. So basically was a rookie. Guy wanted the Pistons to draft, but that's here nor there. I don't know. I think just it's going to be a thing of the past. I mean, I think they do it like age, though, right? You have to play a majority of 3 years. You have to be at least a junior before you can enter the draft.
You got to, and for college football, you got to be 3 years out of high school. So you can redshirt and play 2 years and still enter the draft. Just 3 years out of high school. NBA, you know how that rule goes.
Yeah,
so.
One and done.
Yeah. It says money in big business is ruining all sports.
Hey, you ain't wrong. You ain't
Absolutely.
wrong. You ain't wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. It always has been, but it's even worse now than it was in the past. But it always has been like that.
Yeah.
Now the money's just public.
Yeah. The money, the sports generate more money than ever, billions. With streaming
and everything too.
Yeah, gambling, streaming, everything. These ticket sales, it generate more money than ever. So all right, so yeah, let's stick with football. Let's slide over to the NFL. Lions lost to the Bears this Sunday. Went to Soldier Field, had a real disappointing loss. So Reid, what was the biggest reason the Lions lost this game?
There's 2 reasons. I think everybody knows the 2 is no pass rush. We talked about it last week. Losing, can I even think of his name? McNeil really hurt him. Why Bruce Irvin wasn't playing in this game? He's the only guy that really got pressure for you. I mean, they had 3 sacks against Chicago, but that is a mobile quarterback, so it's different. But Bruce Irvin definitely needs to be on this starting lineup. He's the only one that really played well opposite Aiden against the Saints. So that is one reason, no pass rush. And Jared Goff has just been no bueno. He's been no good. Turned the ball over 3 times this game. Granted, I know Frank Ragnow hurt with the 1 fumble, but I think that Jared Goff, he's not going to get benched for Hendon Hooker by any means unless Hendon Hooker looks fabulous in practice. But even that, I don't think he will. The only way it could happen is if Goff gets injured and they need Hooker to come in. But clean up the turnovers, man. They got a lot of penalties. I think this is the most penalized game they had all season. Stop turning the ball over. J-Mo I know that he hasn't been consistently getting targets all season, but having 1 target in that game is not acceptable. That's the guys where you could have, probably just turned him up and sent him downfield a few times, but getting 1 target hurts too. But pass rush and turnovers really killed them. Game. I turned that game off after they went down. When they had a chance to go down, and it was 13-20 something.
Yeah, I just think it's, like you said, it's a combination of Jared Goff, 9 turnovers in the last 5 games. That's not going to get it done. You continue to put your team at risk for losing games. You already make this defense vulnerable by turning the ball over even more and putting them in worse spots. I mean, the Bears didn't really, in my opinion, march up and down the field. Some penalties, some huge mistakes. In that second half, the Lions had 4 straight drives where they went 3 and out. You're not helping the defense out. The defense is playing that good for a stretch of time. You have to put points on the board, and we talked about this all year. We knew this defense is a little susceptible and needs some help, and you can't do nothing until the offseason. So this offense has to score points to give this defense a little bit of leeway and make something happen. And we're going to get the thing. Jared Goff does not play well outside. But it's going to come down to these last 4 games of the regular season and a playoff game. If Jared Goff is going to get paid, if he does not perform, he does not need to be here after 2024. It's just that plain and simple in my eyes because they've put the offensive line around him. They've solidified him with a star tight end in the making, 2 running backs. Got St. Brown. They have enough weapons to get the job done. He has to figure it out, and if he can't do it, then sayonara, my friend. And figure it out from there. But they, like I said, they can't do nothing with the defense. Aiden jumped off sides on 4th and 13. I don't know what he was thinking. And then tried to drop into coverage, which I don't know what he was doing. Then Dan Campbell decides to go for it on 4th and 1, down 12. Why run a off tackle play? Do a quarterback sneak with Jared Goff. He's 6'6". Just like little things that they need to clean up and figure out. You can't afford to blow this division. But my biggest concern is I'm worried about if they have to play Green Bay in the first round because I don't think they can beat Green Bay right now with the way they're playing football. And this Denver game is a must win.
Yeah. Hey, Green Bay didn't look that good against the Giants. I don't know what happened when we lost them on Thanksgiving. Maybe they were playing with a fire in their belly, but Green Bay looked like shit against the Giants.
Yeah, no Christian Watson, no Aaron Jones either.
Yeah, you still can't lose that game. I mean, Jordan Love had a couple bad plays. It was a little windy out there. He tried to force some plays, but this Tommy DeVito thing is just a mirage. Like with some of these backup quarterbacks, Tommy Cutlets, ESPN, just making this thing bigger than what it is. Man, it's fine. You got to get some film on some of these guys. Even Joe Flacco is playing well right now, so it just you got to figure it out. He's gonna have to fight through it. If he wants to get paid like an elite quarterback, like I said, he's gonna have to figure this out. They're gonna have to win a division, and they have to win a playoff game, in my opinion, for him to be paid like he thinks he should be paid.
Jared Goff needs to go back to playing like he played the first half of the season before the bye week. The first 9 weeks of the game or of the season, he was looking great. He hasn't looked great so far. It's just not good. It's the turnovers are really bad. They need to figure something out with this pass rush. I mean, like we talked about last time, I mean, Melvin Ingram should be signed or something. Like they need some sort of again sign back with the Dolphins. Great, that's awesome. Just another guy that the Lions didn't go after. But I mean, I could yell, kick, and scream about guys that they could or should sign until I'm blue in the face. I mean, they didn't play. I don't think that guy that they signed from the Steelers played, obviously, because it was such a short amount of time. I don't think Bugs played this week. A lot of guys just, I mean, aren't in. Broderick Jones, I keep talking about. I don't know what's going on with him. He's supposed to be a big run stopper. He's not in. Like, there's just nobody on his line right now that excites me other than Aiden, and he's been even lackluster, but he's been double teamed or he can't get to the quarterback because, you know, our corners can't cover. Like, it's bad. It's all bad at the moment. Like you said, it's a must-win game against Denver, and Denver can't score 20 points. So it hopefully an abysmal offensive line. So hopefully they can contain Russ. Hopefully some of these D-line guys that they signed or could play in, like Irvin and that guy from the Steelers. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, let's get some of the feedback here. It said the Lions have some talented big guys on the defensive front. Okay.
When they're healthy.
Yeah. Axe says Lions still need a couple of years to keep up with the big dogs in the NFC.
Yeah, they need another year in this draft and free agency to stock up on the defensive side of football. And I mean, I'm not going to complain about injuries because they happen, but, you know, it was unfortunate that Mosley got hurt. That would have been big for them because Jerry Jacobs doesn't need to be playing.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a couple of years.
And C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah. Well, they're saying C.J. Gardner-Johnson might be back before the Dallas game, which is huge. You need James Houston back before December 30th is the biggest one, too. Someone the pass rush, but I don't know if they're a couple years away from competing with the big dogs because you're even looking at teams. The Dolphins lost yesterday. Chiefs lost. So it's, I mean, Eagles, like I've said all season, don't look great. But, yeah, I think the biggest problem is they need to kind of lose. I mean, you can still keep this culture thing, but don't be afraid of guys like Chase Young or, you know, some of these other guys that or Dexter Lawrence. Was it Dexter Lawrence that Seattle traded for? No,
Leonard Williams.
Yeah, Leonard Williams. Don't don't like be scared of these guys because maybe don't like your culture. Like you can bring them in, and like I said, maybe they're gonna see how good your guys play together, or they like the guys and they can buy into the culture. Like stop being afraid of them. They can always change. Like people always change, so they just can't be timid when it comes to the trade deadline and think that they have so much depth when they don't. Their depth is not great. They have it. It's just not really good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just Hendon Hooker will be slightly below average quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater's the backup. If something was to happen to golf, they'd go to Bridgewater. I don't think they'd go to Hooker.
Yeah, no, Hooker won't be ready till next year.
It depends on how healthy he gets within the next 2 games. I don't think you'll see either one of the guys play this season. I think Goff is going to stay healthy enough for both of them to sit in the bench. But I really think that Hendon could step over Teddy. I don't think Teddy's a world beater. I don't know if you can say he will be a below average quarterback. He was a Heisman Trophy candidate before he got injured in Tennessee. So I don't know. I mean, if you surround him with weapons, any quarterback can look good, especially that guy in San Francisco.
Yeah,
I had to get a little San Francisco habit.
Yeah. So Adrian, your Steelers lost to the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. They dropped to 7-6. I hear a lot of people angry with Mike Tomlin right now. So how confident are you that your Steelers can make the playoffs?
I wasn't too confident. I still think they got a 50-50 shot just because we had some of these teams over the weekend that we need to lose. The Colts lost, the Texans lost. So there's technically, if the playoffs start today, they would still be in. And I want to nip this in the butt now. Mike Tomlin absolutely should not be fired as Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. What Mike Tomlin needs to do is make wholesale changes to this coaching staff and the player management, especially on the offensive side of the football, which I think he'll have no choice but to do it coming after this season. Kenny's hurt. It doesn't help because you can't evaluate him, but I still don't think he's the guy. He's going to come back maybe at the end of the regular season and do what in the playoffs, get steamrolled. Mitchell Trubisky, what I will tell you, he's definitely not the guy at backup quarterback. Paying him $10 million a year to play on that, to play like that kind of hot garbage that he did on Thursday, losing to the Patriots. And the defense, no, they didn't play well. They gave 3 touchdowns and belly zappy. But guess what? The defense is tired. They're exhausted, man. They've been on the field so much with this offense, the way they play. We lose T.J. Watt, concussion protocol, Alex Highsmith, both in concussion protocol. So our best 2 players on defense at edge rusher are hurt. Minka's playing with a cast on his hand. He's playing with a broken hand right now. And it just, at some point in time, like I said, there's nothing that can happen until after this offseason. So find an innovative offensive coordinator, find some ways to get these guys to football. And we just don't have an established leader. George Pickens being frustrated is so understandable, but he's got to find a better way to deal with it. I think Deontay Johnson may be out the door, possibly in this offseason because it's just been too much noise. I just think this offense is going to have it's going to be a new looking offense right now. And if I don't see that, then I can start questioning him. But I'll give him a chance to prove itself. But with the AFC as wide open as it is, they still have a shot. But will they win anything? No. But they can definitely get in.
I think if you want Tomlin fired as a Steelers fan, you're kind of nuts. I mean, you don't get rid of a good thing. I mean, Tomlin's a top 3 to 5 coach in the NFL probably. So, I mean, he's doing something, right if he's had this much longevity. I think the problem is partially the quarterback situation. You did lose your offensive coordinator, whether he was bad or not. I mean, it's always tough to replace a guy and have a short notice come in. So, yeah, I wouldn't get rid of him. I wouldn't fire him. It's hard to say too. I mean, can you get rid of Kenny? He's still not, you could always draft another quarterback, but will they draft him in the first round? I don't think that would be the case. I think it could help, but I don't think it would be the case for them. Like you said, maybe trying to trade Deontay Johnson to a team that's wide receiver needy. That could get you, maybe a second, third round pick, help you out there. You could maybe draft a quarterback later on. So, yeah, all these. I mean, if you say fire, I think it's crazy. They need to go and get. You go find some OC somewhere, or maybe there's a guy within the building. Maybe you can find a Ben Johnson, and your guys is
outside there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. You'll have to see. I think they're in a great position. I think I think the Bengals, I mean, they are winning games, but I think it's tough. They need to keep playing well while Joe Burrow's out. But the Browns don't know what they're doing at quarterback. I don't think DTR or any of these other guys really are going to take them to the promised land. So I know Flacco got a good win last week, but he's already got sent back to the practice squad. So I definitely think they can make it in. Like Adrian said, they win. I don't think so, but it depends on who they play. You know, they can always win one. That defense is so good. That defense can get healthy. They could win something. That defense is actually very good.
We
like all the Steelers defenses are.
They're not healthy right now. Especially at the linebacker position, being depleted. With losing, we lost 3 linebackers that we all signed in the offseason. So that just we're playing practice guys there. So it just tells you. But what I'm seeing from some of these backup guys like Jake Browning, Tommy DeVito, Joe Flacco, not saying they're world beaters, but they've outperformed Kenny. These guys are throwing more touchdown passes than this man has thrown. Kenny's played 12 games this year. We have 6 touchdown passes. So that goes to that's not acceptable. And they're going to say, well, Kenny doesn't turn the ball over. Yeah, he has 4 picks. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, but he does 2 things. Doesn't make explosive plays, and he's hurt. So even if the Steelers do want a quarterback, they're going to have to trade for one because, as we know, they're always good enough every year where they're not bad, so they're not picking in the top 10. So there's no chance of you getting a Michael Penix or Drake May, Caleb Williams, anything like that. So if they are going to go get a new quarterback this offseason, then they're going to have to go trade for him. Maybe say Justin Fields. I wouldn't mind that in that offense. I think it'd be perfect for them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, wholesale changes definitely need to be made offensively.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if Jaden Daniels doesn't go in the first round, if he's sitting there for you guys in the second round, I'd take him because it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks going in the first round. Jaden Daniels might slide to the second.
Let's see. Let me go. I'm gonna go look at. I want to realistically look at right now who I think realistically needs a quarterback in the NFL right now. Who without even all these quarterback injuries, and we can go through real quick. Who I think probably off the top of my head.
Patriots, Falcons,
Jets,
Seattle.
Yeah, let's see. Yep.
Vikings.
What do you guys think about Bryce Young? What do you think about the Bryce Young thing? Do you think he needs another year?
Yeah, I wouldn't. The Panthers aren't going to get a Bryce yet. No.
We all thought. I say Arizona's out. I think Kyler's the guy for them. I think he's actually.
Yeah,
playing.
Kyler's staying because he's already on an extension. Seattle needs a quarterback. Well, who else did I just say? Atlanta needs a quarterback. Washington, I think, is going to rock with Howell still. I think Howell's good enough for them at the moment.
We'll go Jets, Raiders, Giants. The Saints are a sneaky team who need a quarterback. They're not going to take one, but their car's not good. Atlanta. So we're looking at 6-7 teams possibly. So Minnesota needs a quarterback. It depends on what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins. So there's 7 teams, 7 to 8 teams realistically. But that's not the Steelers that probably need a quarterback. So
you got to remember too that I mean we see it every year in drafts, and I've come to notice this looking at mock drafts. Kind of is looking at a blank sheet of paper on it for answers on a test. They're never right. So it's. I mean, there's always guys that drop. I mean, we've seen it with Levis. I mean, obviously Hendon dropped because he had the injury. We've seen it with Malik Willis in that Kenny draft when, Kenny even dropped all the way to the Steelers and nobody thought he was going to be there. So it's like guys can drop. A guy I do see dropping and playing on the Steelers, or that could possibly be drafted by the Steelers in the second round is kind of a hot. I think Penix is going to be the guy that drops in this draft personally. I think Michael Penix is going to be the guy that drops. I think, obviously, Caleb, Drake May, and Jaden Daniels, I think, are the guys that go in the first round. I think a lot of the other quarterbacks kind of slide. This team's looking at – it's just such a heavy draft, like heavy offensive draft. Wide receivers – I think a lot of wide receivers are going in round 1. I think at least 6 wide receivers are going to go in round 1. A lot of defensive edge rushers are going. Good offensive line.
It's a really good offensive line class as well. So
yeah. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think a guy like Penix is going to drop. I think there's a lot of guys that could slide down. I think Penix is the guy that honestly is going to end up in Pittsburgh, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad about that because he's a pocket guy. He can move if he needs to, but he has a strong arm, which is the thing I ask for any quarterback that's going to play in Pittsburgh is to have a strong arm, accurate. It can have a strong arm like Big Ben, even like early Tommy Madison, a solid Charlie Batch, Cordell Stewart. You can't have. I don't think Kenny's arm strong enough. I just think it's just mediocre and it's okay. He doesn't give you any flash or anything. I'm just the days when we had a good offense was Big Ben, Le'Veon, Antonio Brown. But even then, when we were that good on offense, our defense was putrid. So, it's finding a fine line of balance. But we'll see. We have plenty of time to talk about this draft and see what's going to happen. But
only thing you need to watch out for drafting Penix that I could sneaky see him doing it in the first round. I don't know if they will because they need a lot of other help. Is Seahawks because I think that they would like a hometown guy there. I mean, don't make him leave Washington. He can still play there. So that's maybe the only team, but I definitely think Penix would be a great fit for the Steelers or Jaden Daniels, but I think they're going to trade up to like get him. And you kind of still don't really. Jaden Daniels is still pretty raw. I don't know if you'd want to start him right. Jaden Daniels to me is this draft's Anthony Richardson. Obviously, Anthony Richardson didn't win a Heisman, but I think they're very comparable quarterbacks.
I'd take Jaden Daniels or Michael Penix in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, over Ken for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so yeah, let's close it out with Adrian's top 5 list. Adrian's top 5 NFL teams.
All right, guys. What I had to do is we had some major shuffling this week. The bottom half was kind of hard. It's been a real weird week. 8 underdogs won this past week in the NFL, which was the most this season. So as we see with the Tennessee Titans beating the Miami Dolphins in crazy fashion last night. But let's get it started now. I think we can all agree the best team in football, the odds makers, shot to win the Super Bowl, San Francisco 49ers, 10-3, steamroll the Seahawks. DK Metcalf gets into it with Fred Warner, pretty entertaining. I think the Seahawks defense, the 49ers defense is getting a little exposed. So I think if you have an offense that can score the football and keep it tight and make Brock Purdy make some throws, then you can keep yourself in the game. Number 2, and I hate to do it because this team is playing, and Reid probably knows what I'm going to say. This team is playing with their hair on fire right now, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. Sitting at 10-3 right now. They seem unbeatable at home. Dak's front runner for MVP right now, in my opinion. They got the lead in this NFC East right now with the Philadelphia Eagles. So they're looking good right now. But as we all know, Dallas likes to play good in the regular season. So they're gonna have to show me in the playoffs. But right now, they're playing great football. And number 3, the Baltimore Ravens get a crazy win in overtime against former Detroit Lion Matthew Stafford and company off a punt return by Tylan Wallace. What's different about this Baltimore team is they got a passing game. Lamar has made some great throws and some clutch throws late in that game, especially on that drive to take the lead. Go down, Zay Flowers exploding. Odell Beckham's looking like some flashes of the Odell Beckham. I know they lost Andrews, but Isaiah Likely's playing well. They can run the football with Keaton Mitchell, Gus Edwards. So defense gets to take overs when they need to. So far, so good from this Baltimore team. I think they're right on track right now to possibly get them in the AFC. Number 4, I had them lower last week, but the Miami Dolphins. I know they had a terrible loss last night at home to Tennessee Titans, up 14 with over 4 minutes left. Tua got no help last night. They just lost their center to a torn ACL. So I think Tyreek was banged up in this game. When Tyreek gets 100 yards, they're 8-1. When he doesn't, they're 1-4. So that goes to show you. I'm sorry, 8-0 when he does. But that goes to show you the dynamic he has on this offense. So I think they like to play in front. They get a good team at home. They can play well. It's a good team. Number 5, I had to drop them all the way down. I had them at 2 for most of the season. But the Philadelphia Eagles, I know they're not. This defense can't stop a nosebleed right now, giving up over 63 points over these last 2 games. They're picking the worst time to play their worst football. They're going down when most teams are coming up right now. But I still think they got the firepower offensively to be a good football team. Now they go to Seattle this weekend on Monday Night Football. So this is a must win for them to kind of pick their feet up and try to get back on track right now because their schedule the rest of the way is pretty easy. They got the Seahawks on the road. I know they played the Giants twice, and I can't remember their last game, but they're going to be in prime position to have a good seed in the playoffs. And I have the Chiefs right up behind in the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, I agree with the list. Only thing I would change, I would put the Ravens 2, and I would put the Cowboys 3. That's the only thing I would change.
Where did you have the Chiefs?
I had the Chiefs at 6.
Okay. I was
Because
going to say, the Chiefs.
I can't put the Lions there, and I had them there because the defense has been so bad and Jared Goff is not playing well. And I can't put the Jaguars right now because Trevor Lawrence had that ankle injury. And I give him kudos. He started the game terrible, but he played well. And Cleveland's just find a way to win. And that defense is elite, man.
Yeah, I like the list, but I hate the list. 2 of my least favorite teams are in the top 3. That's just me. I think the Cowboys, like you said, they'll probably end up getting exposed in the playoffs like they always do because that's just what the Cowboys do. The Ravens are also the same way to me. The Ravens, for some reason, just keep finding a way to win at home. Matthew Stafford, Matthew Stafford of the Lions, he got so unlucky with I think he had a sidearm pass down the middle to one of his tight ends, and he had it right in his hands and went right through it, right to get in field goal range with the clock ticking down. They probably could have come back and won that game. And then special teams couldn't make a tackle to save their life, so that dude just tightrope down the sideline, scored the touchdown. It was unreal. I was watching the game when the Ravens were going to lose personally, but yeah, I think it's a good list. I mean, there's nothing you can argue. Those teams all rolled this week. They all played well. The Eagles, man, I don't know what's going on. The offense seems a little stagnant. The defense, like you said, can't seem to stop anything. I think a lot of it has to do with their secondary. The secondary is not looking too great right now. So, yeah, I think the secondary is giving up the most yards to wide receivers in the league or close to it. I think they're bottom of the league in yards against. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a fine list. The Chiefs are looking – I don't know. The Chiefs are looking bad these days. I mean, to play the Bills, and I'm a big Josh Allen and Bills guy, and to see the game. I mean, obviously it came down to the play. I don't know if you guys want to get into that, but it came down to that play. I didn't like the way Patrick Mahomes handled it. After you go to your press conference, say what you want to do, but when Josh Allen comes up to you and you say off of a terrible call like offensive offsides. Sorry that Josh Allen. I mean, they played a little bit better than you. You had a cool play called back because Kadarius Toney did Kadarius Toney things. Like, there's a reason. I know I was watching Shannon Sharp talk about this. There's a reason that Kadarius Toney got sold for a bag of chips out of New York. He just is a total problem. Again, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I hated the way that Mahomes handled it. It was just a terrible look for him. And you can't say that you can't end a game on a terrible call when you won a Super Bowl on a terrible call against James Bradbury and that whole. I know that's been floating around. So it's like you can't play one side of the coin and not be called for the other side. So I didn't like the way he handled it. I think they're perfectly ranked at 6. They have a lot of work to do. Their offense doesn't look the same without Tyreek Hill. That's ultimately the reason why. Sure, Dak's playing good and Brock Purdy's, but that is ultimately shows you why Tyreek Hill should be the MVP in my eyes. Is he leaves the Chiefs and they go 8, what are they, 8-4 or something like that, and he goes to the Dolphins and they become a top 5 ranked team, and they're you said 8-0 when he goes over 100 yards. Like, that guy should be MVP. I don't know if he'll break records since he got hurt yesterday and missed a bunch of yard opportunity, but that dude is playing out of his mind, and I just hate that a wide receiver's never won it. I would hate to see him not win it because of a quarterback, but we all know it's a quarterback award. I'm excited for him when he doesn't win it.
We do have some big games this week. Dallas does travel to Buffalo. Hence, I'm leaning Buffalo. Dallas is coming off a big emotional win these last couple weeks. Buffalo's got something to prove. It's going to be cold. We'll be ready. So just keep an eye on that game.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys see that pathetic Vikings and Raiders game in 3-0?
My brother's a Vikings fan. Yeah, my brother's a Vikings fan. It's Jefferson gets knocked out. He comes back. He gets knocked out again. He said he'd probably be available this week, but we'll see. It's a good slate. It's a good slate this weekend.
I was watching it with my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, and we were sitting there, and we said, "Man, this is a real electric game, but I'd love to see the Vikings lose." And then they go down, and we go, "Wow, they're going to win this game 3-0, huh? This is really how it's going to happen." And not to mention, I don't know how if you guys had any of them, but I got screwed in fantasy football playoffs this week with Justin Jefferson getting knocked out in the first 3 plays, and Justin Herbert going down in the first 5 plays. I got knocked out of the playoffs for it. Hurt.
Evan Ingram saved the day for me. I won my league I won my matchup by 1 point to get in the last spot of the playoffs. So thank you. Thank you, Evan Ingram and Jason Sanders, kicker for the Dolphins. So
you see some of the people that Derrick Henry, that last second Derrick Henry touchdown, put some guy I saw got into his playoffs by 0.05 points because of that touchdown.
Oh my goodness.
Wings tied at 4-4.
Yes, sir. I'm about to go watch that game now.
I got Luka on right now, so.
Okay. So anything else you guys want to add before we get up out of here?
No, good week. It's weird. The Lions. I get my hometown team playing Saturday, and I gotta watch this debacle of Pittsburgh Steelers football go to Indy this week on Saturday afternoon to play Gardner Minshew and the Colts. So, well, hopefully I'll text you guys and let you know. You know how I'll be. So,
absolutely. So do the Lions win Saturday? Do they beat Denver?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a bounce back game. I think they have to. Hopefully some guys come back. I think this is a make or break for Aaron Glenn now.
Okay, we'll see. We'll all be watching. All right. Well, sports update Tuesdays 8:00. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.
Peace.